President Zelensky, it was my honor to meet with you again. Partners would take in response to their aggression. And I shared Good afternoon, everyone. President Zelensky, it was my honor to meet with you again. This is our fifth meeting by my count, and our first meeting was here almost exactly 2 years ago. I want to thank you for all that you have done and all that you are as a leader. You and I have had many conversations, and it is my honor to say, as part of a public conversation, that you have been an extraordinarily courageous leader and have shown your commitment to the Ukrainian people and to democratic principles, including the most important, one of the most important, which is the importance of sovereignty and territorial integrity. So it is good to see you again. I was in Munich and have been here to talk about where we stand currently in terms of our relationship to the Ukrainian people and our unyielding commitment on behalf of the United States to the Ukrainian people and to their sovereignty, to their freedom. 2 years ago when I was here, it was to foreshadow the Russian playbook for the world and to outline the steps the United States, along with our allies and partners, would take in response to their aggression. And I shared with the President then, President Zelensky, that the United States stands with Ukraine. And we've been proud to stand with Ukraine over the last 2 years. And President Joe Biden and I will continue to stand with Ukraine, as I said yesterday, and as we say every day. Yesterday, we received reports that Alexei Navalny died in Russia. I met with his wife, Yulia, yesterday and expressed my outrage and sorrow. In this fight, and I will say that Alexei Navalny has been a brave leader who stood up against corruption and autocracy, and he stood up for the truth. The reports of his death are further proof of Putin's brutality. It reminds us why our support for Ukraine is so important, because Ukraine is fighting back heroically against Putin's continued brutality. In Munich 2 years ago, many thought Kyiv would fall in a matter of days, yet thanks to the skill and bravery of the people of Ukraine and the support of the 50-nation coalition the United States has led, Kyiv stands free and strong. President Zelensky, that is a testament, as I've said, to your extraordinary leadership and the determination of the people of Ukraine and their willingness to fight for their homes and their homeland, for their freedom and their independence. In this fight, Ukraine has achieved significant success against an adversary on an imperialistic quest to subjugate your nation. An adversary with an economy 10 times larger than Ukraine, a population 3 times larger, and a military that once ranked as the second best in the world. You have stood strong in the face of Russia's advances and countered its aerial assaults. You have regained half the territory Russia controlled at the start of this conflict. You have inflicted major damage on Russia's fleet in the Black Sea and maintained the flow of grain to world markets. You have kept heat and electricity on in the face of unconscionable attacks on civilian infrastructure. And you have made a range of reforms that will help accelerate Ukraine's integration with the West. Because of our collective strength, this war has been an utter failure for Putin. President Zelensky, the stakes of your fight remain high for your country and for the entire world. And it is in the strategic interest of the United States to continue our support. International rules and norms are on the line, including the fundamental principles of sovereignty and territorial integrity. History shows us if we allow an aggressor like Putin to take land with impunity, they keep going. The other would-be aggressors then become emboldened. On this trip to Munich, I have worked with our allies and partners to ensure that we stay united and strong in support of Ukraine. Today, President Zelensky, you and I had a productive conversation about ongoing support from the United States and the international community. And we spoke of our support for Ukraine on the battlefield. As I said yesterday, you have the support of bipartisan majorities in both houses of the United States Congress. So as we move forward, the President and I, President Biden and I, will continue to work to secure the resources and weapons that you need to succeed. We will also continue to support your efforts to secure a just and lasting peace. We will work to make sure Russia pays damages to Ukraine, and ultimately, we want to see Ukraine emerge from this war as a nation that is free, democratic, and independent. President Zelensky, as President Joe Biden and I have made clear, we will be with you for as long as it takes. I thank you again, and
Thank
please.
you so much.
Thank you.
Дуже дякую вам, шановна
Thank you so much,
пані
esteemed
віце-президент,
Madam Vice President,
шановні члени
esteemed members of the
делегації,
delegation,
присутні, шановні журналісти. Я
dear
радий нашій
journalists.
зустрічі з
I'm
пані
glad
віце-президентом
to have
Сполучених Штатів
this meeting with Madam
Камалою
Vice President
Гарріс. Дуже
of the
дякую
United
вам,
States,
Камала.
Kamala Harris.
Цілком природно,
Thank you so much,
що
Kamala.
головними темами
It is
нашої
quite natural
розмови
that
були
main
саме
topics of our
безпека
conversation
та стійкість.
were security
Безпека,
and
яку ми разом
resilience, security
відновлюємо,
that we together
Україна та Сполучені
build,
Штати
restore
всіма проявами
Ukraine and the
нашої
United States
співпраці.
by
Та
all
стійкість,
signs
яку
of
ми
our
разом
cooperation and
збільшуємо.
resilience that we
Коли
together
зберігаємо
build up
єдність,
when
допомагаємо
we preserve
один одному.
unity and
Я
help
вдячний
each other.
пані віце-президенту
I am
за
grateful
увагу
to Madam Vice
і за
President
ваші
for
слова,
attention
і
and
за
for
вашу
your
повагу до
words
нашого
and for your
народу,
respect to
і
our
за
nation
ту повагу, яку
and
ви
for
сказали
the
під час
respect
нашої зустрічі до
that
наших
you
людей,
have
до
expressed
українців,
during
до
our
наших
meeting to
воїнів.
our
Дуже
people, to
дякую
our
вам.
warriors, to
І вдячний
Ukrainians.
за
Thank you so
життєво
much for
важливу
that.
підтримку і
And I'm
лідерство
thankful for the vital
Сполучених Штатів
support and
Америки,
leadership of
які
the United
допомогли
States of
об'єднати
America who
світ
helped to unite
і
the world
вистояти
and
проти
to stand off
російських ударів. Ми
against
маємо і надалі бути
Russian
разом,
strikes.
Україна
We shall be
та
together
Америка і весь
in the
світ.
future, Ukraine and the
Всі
United
наші
States and
партнери.
all
Ми маємо і
world, all
надалі
our
додавати
partners.
абсолютно потрібні безпеки, досягати
We shall continue to
спільних
build up our
результатів,
security,
збільшувати
achieve
стійкість нашого
joint
спротиву
results, to increase our
російській
resilience
агресії і
against Russian aggression,
щодня доводити
and
Путіну,
each
що
day
його
prove to Putin
ненависть до
that his
людей,
hatred towards
ненависть
people,
до свободи ніколи
hatred
не
towards freedom
переможуть
will
нашу
never prevail
єдність.
over our
Єдність
unity,
вільного світу.
unity of the free
Звичайно,
world.
ключове для нас питання
Of
зараз
course,
це
the key issue for us
збереження
now is
принципової
the
американської
preservation of
підтримки.
principle.
Україна та
American
всі наші
support.
воїни
Ukraine and
потребують
all
та
our
дуже
warriors
очікують
need
відповідного
and await
позитивного
of the
голосування
respective
щодо
positive
пакету підтримки.
vote
Я дякую
regarding
кожному
the
і
assistance
кожній, хто
package. And I thank to
усвідомлює,
everybody
наскільки
who
багато
understands
залежить
how much
від одного
depends
цього
on this single
голосування. Ми
voting
говорили
procedure.
сьогодні з
We
пані
have today
віце-президентом
discussed with Madam
і
Vice
про те,
President
наскільки
about
вагомі
how
результати
significant
були вже досягнуті завдяки
results
нашій
were
спільній
already
роботі
achieved because of
з
our
Америкою,
joint
з
work with the
партнерами,
US, with
зокрема
partners,
щодо
in particular
протиповітряної
regarding
оборони.
air defenses.
Американські патріоти – це
American
найбільш
patriots
надійний захист
are
життя
the-
людей від російського терору.
Are the best life
Кожна
preservation
Кожна
means
система
of
Patriot
people
не
against
лише
Russian
рятує
terror.
сотні і
And
тисячі
each
життів, але й
patriot not
дозволяє
only saves
нормально
hundreds and
працювати
thousands
нашим
of
містам.
lives, but
А
also
отже,
allows our
нашій
cities to
економіці.
function
У нас
normally, and therefore
українських
our
цілей
economy.
цього
One of
року
Ukrainian
економічне
goals
зростання.
this year is
Минулого
economic
року було
growth.
плюс
Last year
5%
we have
ВВП в
had
Україні.
plus
В цьому
5%
році
GDP.
потрібен
This year
співставний
we would need a
рівень
corresponding
зростання,
growth rate.
щоб додати Україні
In order
більше
to
економічної
build up
самостійності.
more of
Питання про
Ukrainians'
ППО для цього
economic independence.
основне.
The issue of air
Я
defense in this
поінформував
regard
пані
is the main
віце-президента
thing. I
про
have
наявну
informed Madam Vice President
ситуацію
regarding
на
the current
фронті
situation on the
і про наші
battlefield,
можливості та
about
перспективи
our
за умови
capabilities and
достатньої
perspectives
підтримки.
upon the
Поінформував також
conditions
про
of
триваючу
needed support levels. I
трансформацію
have
нашої
also
держави,
briefed
зокрема,
about the ongoing
про рішення, які
transformation of
можуть
our
збільшити
state,
нашу
in particular
стійкість,
about decisions
обговорили,
that can build up
а
our
також
resilience. We have
підготовку
also
глобального
discussed
саміту
the preparation
миру
of the Global
в
Peace
Швейцарії на
Summit
рівні
in
лідерів.
Switzerland on
Ще
the
одна
level of
принципова
leaders.
тема – це
One more
справедливість.
principal topic is
Справедливість
justice.
подальшого
Justice
тиску на
of
Путіна
the
та його
further
режим
pressure
за
on
усіма
Putin and his
напрямками.
regime
Зокрема,
in
ми
all
маємо саме
directions.
цього року
In particular,
забезпечити
this year
конфіскацію
we need to
та
ensure the
використання
confiscation
російських
and usage
активів
of
на
Russian
користь
assets
захисту
for the
від
sake of
російського ж
protection
терору.
against
Путін не цінує
Russia's
життя людей,
terror.
не
Putin does not
розуміє
value
та не
lives of people. He
поважає
does not
жодних
understand
прав.
and does not
Єдине,
respect
що
any
для Путіна
rules.
важливо
The only thing
гроші
that is
і сила.
important for Putin is money
Потрібне
and power.
сильне рішення, яке
We need a strong
конфіскує
decision that
заморожені
would
активи
confiscate
Росії.
frozen Russia's
І
assets.
потрібен подальший повномасштабний тиск
And we would need
санкціями
further
на
full-scale
Росію,
pressure
щоб
with
обмежувати здатність
sanctions on
Путіна
Russia in order to
фінансувати цю
constrain
війну.
Putin's capabilities
Я
to
радий
finance this war.
відзначити близькість
Glad to
наших
praise the
поглядів
proximity of our
на
views on
абсолютно принципові
absolutely
питання.
principal
Пані
issues.
віце-президент,
Madam Vice
я дуже
President,
вдячний вам за
I
нашу
am grateful
розмову.
to you
Я
for our
дякую
conversation.
всьому
I thank to
американському
all
народу.
American
Я
people.
дякую дуже пану президенту
I am extremely
Байдену,
thankful to Mr.
обом
President
партіям
Biden,
і
to
палатам
both
Конгресу
parties and
за
both houses
життєво
in
важливу
Congress
підтримку.
for the vital
Впевнений, ми
support.
можемо
And I'm
зупинити
sure that
Росію.
together we
Мусимо
can stop Russia.
зупинити.
We must
Дякую за
stop.
увагу.
Thank you
Слава
for your
Україні.
attention. Glory to Ukraine.
Okay, we'll take questions now from the press. Cleve Wootson of the Washington Post. Hello.
Questions about his age. What skepticism have you faced here about U.S. support in your meetings? And what have you said to try to allay them? And President Zelensky,
Can you turn on the microphone?
is it on?
No, it's not.
Is the interpretation happening?
Unfortunately, the interpretation is not happening as we cannot hear the speaker.
Yeah. Let's take this one. It's possible. Sorry, I don't hear.
No problem. Do I need to ask the question to you again, Madam Vice President?
No, I got it.
Okay. And to President Zelensky, let's pull up my question. The U.S. Congress so far has not approved more military aid for you. Without that aid, does your country have a path to victory? And is the lack of funding a betrayal because President Biden has promised that he would be with you until the very end?
I'll start.
Yeah.
As I made very clear yesterday, the issue of supporting Ukraine and where the United States stands on that issue is integral to who we are as the United States of America. We have historically and currently stand as a global leader on certain fundamental democratic principles, including the principle of sovereignty and territorial integrity. We stand with our friends. Our membership in NATO has been a role that is about a commitment to our allies based on shared principles of what it means to abide by democratic principles that have historically ensured stability and security for those participating in this partnership. As I made very clear yesterday, when we talk about the role of America as it relates to our support for Ukraine, we must be unwavering and we cannot play political games. Political gamesmanship has no role to play in what is fundamentally about the significance of standing with an ally as it endures an unprovoked aggression. Politics should play no role in standing for the fact that Vladimir Putin, through his leadership of Russia, has shown himself to be fundamentally hostile to democratic principles, not to mention what we learned about in the last 24 hours in terms of the killing of Navalny. So this is about where we stand as a nation. And as it relates to the supplemental, we have been clear, the President and I, both in private conversations with members of the United States Congress and in public. We are clear and certain that for the majority in both the United States Senate and the United States House of Representatives, there is bipartisan support for this approach. There is bipartisan support for what America is and what we stand for. And we are unwavering, and that has nothing to do with an election cycle. It has to do with who we are and what kind of country we want to be. One that stands with our friends. President Zelensky.
Thank you so much, Vice President. Дякую за
Thank
це
you
питання.
for this question.
Ми дуже розраховуємо на
We are
це
counting
позитивне
on this
рішення
positive
Конгресу.
decision of the
Для нас
Congress.
цей
For us,
пакет життєво
this
важливий.
package is vital.
Ми не розглядаємо на сьогодні
We do not
альтернативи.
currently look into
Тому що
alternatives
ми розраховуємо на
because we
Сполучені
are counting on
Штати
the
як
United States
нашого партнера
as
стратегічного,
on our
що
partner,
він залишиться
strategic partner,
стратегічним
that
партнером.
this
Якщо ми
partner will
говоримо про
remain strategic
альтернативу,
partner.
це значить,
If we
що
are
це
speaking about the
не
alternative,
стратегічний
then
наш
this means
партнер.
that it
Ось
would
чому
be
я не
not our
розглядаю
strategic
таку
partner. That's why I'm not looking
І
into
це не
such
розглядаємо
alternative.
не тільки потужністю, але й політично, і
And
стратегічно.
we also do
цей
not look
пакет,
into such alternative
чи це
strategically
шлях
and
до
politically.
перемоги?
Is this
Ні,
package a
цього
way to victory?
недостатньо,
No,
тому що
this would
шлях до
not be enough
перемоги
because
це
our path to
люди,
victory is
моральний дух
people, the
українського
morality
воїна,
of Ukrainian
людей,
warrior,
пакети
of
підтримки,
people, the
санкції
assistance
партнерів,
packages,
це
sanctions
велика
of the partners.
союзницька
That
робота.
is a
Причому
big
робота не раз
allied
на
work.
квартал, а
And not
робота
quarterly
щоденна.
work,
І
but
це дуже
on a
важливо.
daily
Тому
basis.
це
And
точно
that's why it
шлях
is so
вперед.
important. But
Цей
it would
пакет – це
definitely,
точно
this
шлях
package is
вперед.
a definitely way forward,
І це факт.
and that is a
Але це
fact.
ще не перемога.
But it would
І це
be
набагато
not
важливо.
victory
Рух вперед
yet.
набагато важливіше, ніж
But moving
стагнація на
forward
полі
is
бою.
much better than
Чи
stagnation on the
вважаю я, що
battlefield.
це
Do I
зрадницька
believe that this is a
позиція?
betrayal?
Ні.
No.
Тому що я не
Because
думаю, що наш
I do
стратегічний
not think
партнер
that our strategic
може
partner
дозволити собі
can
не
allow
підтримати Україну.
itself to not support
Тобто я не
Ukraine.
бачу
This,
можливості
I
для
do not
стратегічного
see
партнера
the opportunity for
зайняти
strategic
таку
partners to
позицію.
take such
Ми
stance.
бачимо виклики.
We see challenges,
Електоральні, внутрішні,
electoral,
політичні, я не
internal,
хочу їх
political. I
коментувати.
do not
Це
want to comment on
внутрішні
those
процеси
because those
Сполучених
are
Штатів
internal
Америки
processes in
і
the
народу
US and
Америки.
of
Але
the people
я
of the United
розраховую,
States.
що
But
все ж таки союзницька
I
позиція
count that the allied
залишиться.
stance will remain.
President Zelensky, if you want to call.
Oh, yeah, please. Так, будь ласка.
Добрий день. Ніна Коломієць, телеканал
Greetings,
«Інтер»,
Ніна
марафон
Коломієць,
«Єдині новини».
Intel,
У мене
Inter Channel.
питання і до
have
пані
a question to
віце-президента, і до пана
Vice
президента.
President
Ми бачимо,
and to
наскільки
Mr. President. We
складно у
see
Конгресі
how
відбувається
difficult
розгляд
it
допомоги
is for
Україні.
the Congress
Скажіть,
to-
будь ласка, свою думку,
to
чому
deal
таке
with the
життєво
assistance to
важливе
Ukraine?
для нас питання
Could you
настільки
please elaborate
затягнулося?
on why
І
such
чи
vital
є в
issue to
США
us
план
has
Б
been so
на випадок, якщо Палата
postponed, and
представників
whether United
не
States
погодить
has
допомогу
a
Україні?
plan B, shall the
І
House of
так
Representatives
само
not
на фоні активного
confirm
підписання
the
Україною
assistance package to
двосторонніх
Ukraine? And also the
безпекових
question
угод,
regarding the
спочатку із
signature of
Великобританією,
Ukraine
місяць
with
тому,
bilateral security
вчора
agreements,
ще із
firstly with
Францією і
Great
Німеччиною.
Britain, yesterday
Маємо
with
питання, коли
France
угода
and
про
Germany.
співробітництво
I have
у
a
сфері
question
безпеки
when the agreement on
буде
cooperation
підписана між
in security
Україною
field
і
will be
Сполученими
signed
Штатами
between Ukraine
Америки.
and the United
Можливо,
States of
вже
America.
проводяться
Perhaps
попередні
there
домовленості
are
на цю тему.
already
Дякую.
preliminary negotiations on this topic.
Please.
There's only plan A, which is to ensure that Ukraine receives what it needs. I will emphasize that an indication of where we can and frankly must be is that there is bipartisan support in both of our houses of Congress, on the Senate side and the House of Representatives. And it is my full belief that were the supplemental package, the security package, to make it to the floor of the House of Representatives, that it would actually pass. I also believe that there is consensus across party lines in the United States Congress that recognizes the brutal nature of Moscow's aggression, and that there must be a response that includes standing by our friends and supporting those who fight against that aggression. And I do believe there is consensus within the United States Congress that the American leadership, elected leaders in the United States Congress, mst be unified in their opposition to Russia's aggression, as indicated over the course of the last 2+ years and the last 24 hours. And I do believe also there is consensus within the United States Congress that we must use everything that is available to us to support Ukraine in its fight to become and to maintain itself as an independent and democratic nation.
Дякую за запитання.
Thank you for the question.
Що стосується гарантій
As
безпеки,
regards
так.
the security
Що
guarantees,
стосується
right?
гарантій безпеки, так,
So
наші
regarding the
команди
security
працюють,
guarantees, yes, our
провели 2
teams
раунди
are
перемовин.
working. We have held already two
Я впевнений,
negotiation
що у нас
rounds,
буде дуже
and I'm
потужна,
sure that we will have
дуже потужний документ
very powerful
з нашими
document
партнерами,
with our partners.
але ми домовились, що ми
However,
повинні
we
всі
have agreed
сфокусуватися
upon that we all need to
на
focus
тому, що потрібно
on
саме
what
зараз.
is needed right now.
Тому ми фокусуємось на
That's
роботі
why
з
we focus
Конгресом
on the
Сполучених
work with
Штатів,
Congress of
а
the
після
United
цього
States, and
перейдемо до
afterwards
гарантій
we
безпеки.
will move on to security guarantees.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
President
Дякую.
Zelensky. Principles, including the most important, one of the most important, which is the importance of sovereignty. Our support for Ukraine is so important because Ukraine is with the president then, President Zelensky, that the United States stands with Ukraine. And I've had many conversations, and it is my honor to say